Need a one and done personal item essentials list? Well, look no further because whether you're traveling carry on only or just like to be prepared, you need a personal item bag that is going to keep you safe, relaxed, and entertained on every single flight. Lucky for you, I myself am a frequent flyer and I have learned a thing or two the hard way over the past many years of traveling, and I don't want you to learn the hard way. So I'm going to be spilling some of my key tips and personal item essentials that will make your flights a lot easier. First, I'm going to go through all of the personal item essentials that have made my life a lot easier when I'm flying. And then I'm going to go over some of the frequently asked questions that in regards to personal items that can kind of trip up people who maybe don't travel as often or check their bags and rarely have personal items. So we're going to go through all the details you need to know for packing a personal item. If you're new here, hey guys, I'm Indigo from the Indigo Sahara Travel Blog, where we help hundreds of thousands of travel lovers just like you make their dream trips a reality through destination guides and budget travel tips. So be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of these guides, so that you can be planning your dream trips left and right like I want you to. Now let's get into the personal item essentials that will ensure that you have a great flight every single time. Number one, and the most important item on this personal items essentials list, is your ID, boarding pass, passport, and other flight information that you might need. Obviously, you might have your boarding pass on your phone, which is totally fine, or you might have gotten one printed when you checked your bags, but either way, you need that to get through security and ultimately get on the plane. Very important, obviously. Also, regardless of whether you're traveling domestically or internationally, you will need a valid form of ID. That could be your driver's license or it could be your passport. Either way, you're gonna need an ID. Do not forget that. They will not let you through security or on the flight without your ID. Depending on your destination, you might also need some other information such as a vaccine card if your destination requires like yellow fever vaccine or another type of vaccination. You'll know what you need based on the destination that you're going to. If you haven't heard about anything you need, you probably don't need anything other than your ID and boarding pass, but it's worth mentioning for those of you who may be traveling somewhere where you need additional travel information. Also, if you're traveling internationally, don't forget to bring a pen. I love this passport holder because it comes with a pen in a pen slot. Some countries still require you to fill out those custom forms in the plane, and I always would forget a pen whenever I needed one to fill out one of those forms, and then I had to ask the flight attendant, do you have a pen, and be like that passenger. So don't be that passenger and remember to bring a pen. That's why I love this passport holder, because I know if I'm traveling internationally, I will have this passport holder because I'll need my passport, and then I'll therefore have the pen for customs forms. And even though you likely won't need these specific items while you're in flight flying in the air, you will need them to go through security at your gate, at customs, and potentially even at baggage claim if you lose your bag. So you definitely want it on hand while you're going through the airport, and that's why it's important to keep it accessible in your personal item bag. Number two, and maybe even more obvious than the first one, is your smartphone. You will definitely want your smartphone in your personal item bag accessible because, well, first of all, you might have your boarding pass on there if you're using a mobile boarding pass, or your flight confirmation number when you're checking in if you need it at a kiosk. That will probably be in your email on your phone. So you're gonna want to have your phone easily accessible the whole flight. Also, it will double as your camera, your in-flight TV, your entertainment device, your flight update receiver, your communication device to let your mom know when you landed safely, you know? You're gonna need your phone, so definitely have that. Number three are noise canceling headphones. I do not know how I traveled so many years without a pair of noise canceling headphones. All of my family members had them, and for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe probably because I'm stingy, I just never got about buying a pair because they are, you know, at least a couple $100. But wow, they make a huge difference when you are flying. I cannot believe I used to travel just listening to the jet engine noises and the chatty passengers and the crying babies and all of the loud noises, whatever noise was going on around me. I didn't realize how loud it was until I bought a pair of noise canceling headphones, wore them in a plane, and took them off in flight. It actually hurt my ears to take the noise canceling headphones off. I didn't realize how loud it was and potentially how damaging it was to my hearing, probably, if it hurt my ears taking them off. But yeah, anyway, I could go on and on. They're definitely worth it when you're flying. This is not just like some, you know, expensive travel essential that you don't need. I mean, technically you don't need them, but like, they do make a big difference. You know what I'm saying. Specifically, I love my Apple AirPods Max, but they are very, very expensive. So my second recommendation are the Bose headphones. My dad is a pilot. He uses Bose. My mom uses Bose. I think both of my sisters have Bose headphones. Pretty sure I'm the only one with the Apple AirPods Max. Quality wise, they're both fantastic, but that is my second recommendation. First is the Apple AirPods Max. Second would be the Bose headphones. I also always travel with this case for my Apple AirPods Max. It's a hardcover case. Unfortunately, the AirPods Max only come with like this little flimsy case that don't even cover the overhead part of the headphones. It just covers the actual headphone earpiece. It's not very sturdy. It's kind of cheap. So I wanted something that I knew was going to keep it safe in flight when I wasn't wearing them, which is why I bought this leather hardcover case on Amazon. Very affordable. It also has a handle, which is nice for carrying it. Definitely recommend this hardcover case if you're looking for one too. Number 4 are the Apple AirPods. I also want to mention just like a normal pair of headphones, because even if you don't want to spend the money or own a pair of noise canceling headphones, you'll want something to listen to your music, your podcasts, or your TV show, whatever type of entertainment that you're gonna have on the plane. You're gonna want something to listen to besides the annoying jet engine noises. So if you A, don't wanna pay for a pair of noise canceling headphones, or B, don't wanna pack the bulky noise canceling headphones, a smaller pair of earbuds like the Apple AirPods, which I used to have and love. My husband uses them every flight. Those are great. Those make a great alternative to a larger pair of noise canceling headphones. Next, I'm going to talk about the different types of personal item bags, like the legitimate bag you're going to pack all your stuff in, because there's this large variety of them on the internet, and I've tried a large variety of them, and I have an opinion or two about them. So first of all, I have my trusty camera backpack. When I'm traveling, I'm typically traveling with quite a bit of camera gear, and I want to keep it safe, so I always have it on me. I never pack it. I never check my camera equipment. I always have it as my personal item, and this backpack does size-wise count as a personal item. It fits under the airplane seat in front of you. I've traveled to many different countries with it, and I've never had an issue using it as my personal item. I've been to Asia, Oceania, all over the US. I've been to Europe, on small planes, on big planes. I've never had an issue using it as my personal item. Like many camera bags, it has different padded compartments for all my camera gear. Right now, I am using my camera, so I don't have it in there, but I do have some like miscellaneous camera gear, like this little tripod. I have a little ring light in there. But I can put different lenses in these compartments and keep them safe so that I always know that they're not going to get cracked or damaged in flight. If you don't travel with a camera equipment, A, I'm jealous, and B, a normal backpack around this size will still count as your personal item. Especially if you're traveling carry-on only, you might need the extra backpack space as opposed to a smaller personal item bag for your clothes or shoes or whatever you need for that trip. I've definitely done that before many, many times. So just so you know, a regular backpack usually does typically count as your personal item. I've never had an issue using it as a personal item. However, on the few very rare occasions that I'm not traveling with a lot of camera gear, and maybe I only need one camera body and one lens, or I don't need any camera equipment at all, my next favorite personal item bag is the Béis Work Tote Mini. The size is perfect, fits like a glove under the seat in front of you. The large work tote also works as a great personal item. I just prefer not to carry it as much as this small one. I do own both and I have used both for personal item bags and they're both great. I love them, but obviously whenever I can pack as little as possible and use as small bags as possible, I will. I've shared this bag with you before, but it has tons of compartments, a padded laptop, sleeve, a large pocket that can be buttoned out of the bag like so, and you can button it back in for a large pocket. It has pen slots and more zipped pockets and non-zip pockets inside. Fits a lot. But my favorite feature as a personal item bag is this pocket in the back. When this zipper is zipped shut, it acts as a pocket just like it looks. But when it's unzipped, you can put it on your suitcase handle and be hands-free in the airport. So that is super nice. I love that feature of the bag, and that's why it is my next favorite personal item bag. And next, I want to go over my favorite belt bags for personal items because, I know it's gonna be a good trip if I only have to bring a belt bag as my personal item and I don't have to pack camera equipment or anything extra. And in my women's travel essentials video, I mentioned how much I loved the Lululemon 2-liter everywhere belt bag for traveling, and I still do. Great bag. However, my last trip, I might have got a new favorite belt bag, and that is the Base Sports Sling. I got it in the color maple because it matches all of my suitcases and my work tote. The pockets are insane. It has wallet, ID pockets. It has a larger pocket that can hold lots of good stuff, although my headphones definitely wouldn't fit in here. But my favorite part of the bag is this secret pocket on the back that extends out like so. And voila, you have a water bottle holder. I think that's genius. I don't know why more belt bags don't have water bottle holders, but this way you can have a water bottle and not hold it while you're walking around the airport. And that brings me to our next personal item essential, which is an empty water bottle. You'll want to make sure your water bottle is completely empty before you go through security so that they don't confiscate it. But once you're through security, you can refill that bottle as many times as you need to stay hydrated. I highly recommend the Lark water bottle for travelers. It is a little bit expensive, but here's why I like it. Because it is self-cleaning. It uses UV light technology to self-clean so that you don't have to worry about cleaning it in your hotel room or in the airport or anywhere while you're on the go. Also, you then don't have to worry about any bacteria that you might be getting in your water while traveling abroad. All in all, really great water bottle for travelers. Next up, you're gonna wanna pack your portable charger in your personal item as well, especially if you have a long haul flight, because you do not want your phone dying while you are in the middle of a travel day. Like I said earlier, your phone likely has the majority of the travel information you need for your day, plus a GPS, or whatever else you might need is probably on your phone, so you don't want it to die. I just got a 2-pack of these Myety portable chargers from Amazon, one for me, one for my husband. They work fantastic. I've had them for years and they're affordable too. Plus they have multiple different types of ports. So they have the USB, USB-C. I don't know what this other one is, but it has it. One of the little ones. I don't know what it's called. So you can charge not only your phone on this, but basically any other small electronic device. Drink my Steez, which by the way, if you've never tried Steez, specifically the peach flavor, you're missing out. Don't try to bring it through airport security though. Anyways, next, I always travel with lots of hand sanitizer and hand sanitizer wipes. In particular, I always go to Target before every trip and get a hand sanitizer with this silicone attachment. That way I can just put it on my personal item or my day bag when I'm out and about, and always have some hand sanitizer easily accessible to me. I also get then another one without the silicone holder, so then I can refill it at the end of the day. This one obviously like 50 cents more expensive, so that's why I also get a regular one just to refill it. And then I also travel with hand sanitizer wipes because sometimes The liquid hand sanitizer just doesn't feel like it does enough. Like before you're eating with your hands or whatever, you just want to feel extra clean. I always pick up a pack of these Honest sanitizing wipes. The ingredients, way better and way fewer ingredients than other hand sanitizing brands. They're still not like non-toxic, obviously, but you know, they'll do the trick and make me feel better about what I'm putting on my skin. And then I can also use these to wipe down my tray table when I first get in the plane or seatbelt. Any part of my seat that is high touch, I'll just wipe it down quick just for peace of mind and to stay healthy and safe on the flight. Likewise, I'll travel with a travel pack of tissues just because you never know when you're gonna need a tissue. You might spill something, you might have to blow your nose, whatever. A very, very cool travel must-have too that will make sure that you stay entertained on your flight is this AirFly Pro. You may have seen this go viral on social media a few times. If not, let me explain to you what it does. If you're flying internationally or have a long haul flight where you're gonna have the seatback entertainment centers, aka the TV on the back of the seat in front of you, this plugs into the aux port and then pairs with your own Bluetooth headphones. And then that way you don't have to use the cheap headphones that they give out if you don't have a pair that has an aux end. Super cool little nifty gadget, travel gadget. Also, so that's what the AirFly does. This is the AirFly Pro, which is a little bit different and even cooler because you can pair multiple sets of headphones to this device and watch a movie with your travel buddy. So my husband and I have done this. We both hooked up our noise canceling headphones. I had my AirPods Max, he had his AirPods. We both hooked them up to the same airplane TV and we were able to watch a movie together on the flight. So very, very cool travel gadget if you have a flight coming up where you're gonna have a TV available for you to use. Now let's go over some of those FAQs and start with what is not allowed in a personal item. Some of this information is probably gonna be very basic to some of you, but if you're new to traveling or new to flying, this is key. So here's what's not allowed in your personal item bag, or your carry-on bag for that matter. You are not allowed to go through airport security with anything that can be a weapon, basically. So that also means no sharp objects like scissors or kitchen knives or anything like that. You're only allowed to have liquids that are 3.4 ounces or smaller, and they have to all fit combined in one quart-sized bag per person. Those are the specific rules for flying through the US, and many other countries are now adopting this rule as well. I've noticed when I've been traveling internationally that many are replicating the same rule. It wasn't always like that, but now they're starting to have the quart-sized bag rule or the 3.4 ounces or under rule. Whether you're traveling through the US or not, it's worth just putting them in a clear quart-sized bag, and then you don't have to worry about it. And next, frequently asked question in terms of personal item is what exactly does a personal item include? Typically, a personal item includes any bag that can fit underneath the airplane seat in front of you. So that means backpacks, purses, belt bags / fanny packs. That means diaper bags, beach bags, briefcases, any bag that is on your person when you're going through the airport and or can fit underneath the seat in front of you. You will need to slide it underneath the seat in front of you during takeoff and landing. The flight attendants will come around and check to make sure that it is slid all the way under, but as long as it will fit under the seat in front of you, so basically anything backpack size and smaller, you'll be fine. As long as it fits under the seat in front of you, you're golden. Of course, some specific airlines have more strict rules when it comes to your personal item and carry-on. I learned this the hard way on my way to Bora Bora when the inter-island flight, I could only have a personal item that was like 7 pounds, I think, in my camera bag, which was my acting personal item, weighed like 40 pounds. So I ended up having to disperse camera equipment across luggage. It was just not good. So, you know, if you haven't flown with this airline before, it's worth checking their specific airline policies. But for the most part, you can expect a backpack size or under, and usually any weight's fine. Now, next question, are personal items weighed at the airport? And the answer is usually no. I have had very, very few instances where they actually weighed my personal item to make sure that it aligned with that particular airline's baggage policies. I've gotten away with 40-pound camera gear backpacks. I've gotten away with 20-pound backpacks. As long as it fits under the seat in front of you, you should be fine. But again, it is worth, if you're flying on an airline you've never flown with before, it's worth checking their policies just to make sure. Because, for example, when I went to Bora Bora, they did weigh my personal item bag. So, but that's very rare. Like, you know, I've traveled South America, Asia, Europe, all over the US, and it has been very rare that they actually weigh your personal item. Now, follow-up question, what happens if my personal item is 1 inch too big? This literally is an FAQ on Google, so I'm just gonna answer it right now. Get everything cleared out of the way. Usually 1 inch is fine. Like, they're usually, I'm not gonna say always, because there are instances where they do make you check your bag if it's too big. But usually if your personal item is 1 inch too big, you can manage to, you know, jam it under the seat in front of you when necessary. Or worst case scenario, they're going to ask you to put it in the overhead compartment. Worst case scenario, they're gonna ask you to check it, but that's unlikely, and that's never happened to me. I don't think I've ever had an issue with my personal item bag, even my big giant camera backpack. So that's unlikely that'll happen, but worst case scenario, they're gonna ask you to check your bag. You're still gonna be allowed on the flight. You are, you know, you don't have to worry about getting to the destination or anything like that. That's just the worst case scenario. And the last FAQ I want to go over before we wrap up is, can I bring 2 personal items on a flight? And the answer is no. Every person is allowed 1 personal item and 1 carry-on bag. So if you have 2 bags in total, that's fine, but you're not allowed to have 2 personal item bags. So for example, let's say I wanted to bring these 2 bags on the plane. I checked my suitcase with all of my big liquids and clothing, and this is what I'm carrying through the airport. This is totally fine because this is going to count as your carry-on. This is going to count as your personal item. They may ask you to put this in the overhead compartment, but I've traveled with both of these and they both fit together under the seat in front of me. So this totally fine. However, let's say you're carrying all 3 of these items through the airport. Maybe this one's on your back, this one you're carrying, and this one is strapped around you to keep you hands-free, to keep your boarding pass, your passport, whatever, just right here. That does not count. This would be 2 personal items and 1 carry-on. That's what that would count as, and that's not allowed. They will ask you to combine your bags before you board the plane, which is easy to do. All you have to do, take this off your person, stick it in one of your bags, and you can board the plane, no problem. So in terms of 2 personal items, no, they're not allowed unless one of your personal items is also your carry-on. And that's what you mean when you ask the question, you know. So that's totally fine. But otherwise, 1 personal item and 1 carry-on bag. I know traveling can be super stressful, so I hope that these tips and personal item must-haves make your flight experience a lot easier and more comfortable. I know that they have made my flight experiences a lot better, so I know that they will for you too. Of course, I will link everything in the description, as well as in this QR code. If you are watching on your TV, you can hit the QR code, go to the link, and all the products will be there for you for your own ease. If you have any other essentials that you love to travel with in your personal item, definitely comment them below because I want to know about them to make my flight experience better, and so will everyone else. So do that, and I think that's all I have for today. So for now, ciao!